Hello, welcome to the Regeneration of Self. My name is Rich, and I am a 44-year-old man from Nottingham in England, in the UK. This is the Regeneration of Self, a vlog which is going to really document my change and hopefully help others out there in the regeneration of self. The topics that will be covered will be diet, exercise, budgeting, meditation as well, with just a little hint of Doctor Who. See, this all came about through a quote from the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith, in his final episode just before he's about to regenerate. And the quote is, "We all change when you think about it. We're all different people all through our lives, and that's okay. That's good. Gotta keep moving. So long as you remember all the people that you used to be." And when I first heard this, it really struck a chord with me and my outlook on life. See, life is all about change. Certain events in your life change you for better or worse. I like to think of these changes as regenerations. A concept like that found in Doctor Who. Of course, we can't just burst into regeneration energy and be a totally different person. But we can choose to regenerate first our mind and then our body. See, I'm currently, I'd like to think, in my 7th incarnation. I worked these incarnations out about 15 years ago. So my first incarnation was between my birth and, which was in 1981, and 1992. Which is when I started secondary school, which I suppose is like the first big change you can have in your life, which really changes you as a person. You go from being a child to a sort of adolescent, and that's a huge change for people. And that's when I regenerated into my second incarnation. This was between 92 and 97, which was all my secondary education, which is, of course, a time of much change in your mind, in your body, and you're figuring out yourself, etc., and who you're going to be as an adult. So that's sort of where that second incarnation was, and the job of that second incarnation was to do that. The third me was 97 to 99, which was, say, between 16 and 18, my late teenage years. So when I started work, started to go to college as well, becoming an adult, changing significantly from the person I was in like my second incarnation to my third incarnation. The fourth ran from 1999 to 2001, which was a very happy and settled time for me. I was at college in my first real long-term relationship, and I was in a really, really good place. Didn't have a care in the world. I was like 19, 20, and yeah, a really good time. Where you don't have much to think about really. You just go to college, have fun. Great stuff. This changed with the fifth incarnation, which ran from 2001 to 2010, which was basically all my 20s. Starting with the move to university, losing my hair, becoming really fat, which I still am now. My 20s were okay. Yeah, but I didn't really think much to that incarnation. I was a bit of an arsehole. I drank too much, wasted far too much money. Yeah, and it took me a long time to sort of get out of that. Uh, After finishing that and being in a couple of relationships, I started a relationship in 2010, which then led to my next incarnation, which I like to refer to as War. If you know anything about Doctor Who, there's the War Doctor, and it's the Doctor who isn't really part of the canon of Doctors, but someone who needed to be to get through a really tumultuous time in their lives. This ran from like 2010 to 2022. It was really tumultuous, really angry time for me. I had 3 children from 2 failed relationships. Anger, hatred, a diagnosis of epilepsy for me, anxiety and depression. Not a good time at all. For me, or for those closest to me, to be honest. I wasn't a nice person to be around. I was just bitter and angry and just wanted to be, although I wasn't in the right relationships at all. And yeah, the birth of my children was really a highlight of those times, but I hated my 30s. It wasn't a good time at all. The 6th incarnation was between 2022 and 2024. As one of as that was a sort of a stopgap, of course, a stopgap of sorts for healing. Where I sort of weighed up my life so far, and just sort of resetting, I suppose, for the 6th incarnation. And it was at the end of that incarnation where I found the love of my life, who, weirdly enough, had been there since the days of my 2nd incarnation at school. But it just took us long enough to actually get together. And I fell in love hard, thus triggering my 7th and current incarnation, which is all about sorting myself out for the second half of my 40s and beyond, going forward and planning for the future. Because I've got another 20 odd years before I retire and stuff, and it's creeping up fast, and I haven't really got anything behind me. And yeah, it's just been a bit of a waste so far. Thus, why I'm doing this. And I hope you can join me on this journey. I'm going to be sort of vlogging on stuff I do, from weight loss to how I deal with stress, how I deal with my money, because that's always been a big problem for me with spending far too much and budgeting, etc. So there's going to be things I do now to help me with budgeting and making sure I know where all my money is going, etc. So we'll have those tools to share with you out there if that's what you're interested in. So, and cooking, that sort of stuff, what I eat on a daily basis to sort myself out. And yeah, so there will be another update video. This is just like an introduction of my thought process and how I see the world, and a little introduction into the regenerations thing, idea and the concepts behind that. So if you are watching this and you want to follow along, have a think about where you think you are in your life. Which regeneration are you on? Which incarnation of yourself are you currently at? And what has led you to changing those incarnations? I think it's a really interesting way of looking at the world. Yeah, so hopefully you can join me on this journey. So yeah, I'm Rich. It's lovely to meet you all, and I shall see you again for another update video. Thanks for dropping by. Cheers.